Good morning. Welcome back to our Gildas Club Quad Cities here in this virtual platform. We're pleased that Angela Swanson is back again for another group meditation session. So just as a reminder, we are offering weekly group meditation while we are doing sheltering at home and practicing safe social distance. We do offer a Zoom version of this class, and the benefit of joining us via Zoom, and the link is in this description, is you get some time with Angela after the meditation practice itself to ask any questions and just engage with her a little bit more one-on-one. So if you are interested in that, please visit our website, gildasclubqc.org/calendar, and you can register next week to attend us and join us via Zoom. But I will go ahead and turn over to Angela.
Thank you very much. Welcome to meditation. And I'm really glad to be here with you today. As I join these live calls, I sort of take cues from what's showing up for me, in other places. So today, what has been showing up for me is that people I'm talking to and that are talking to me, reaching out to me, are pretty convinced that they cannot meditate because they have such a wandering mind. And I just thought we could chat about that a little bit. And I don't know if any of you feel like you have a wandering mind. Do you think that's a pretty universal concept? Do you feel like you have a wandering mind? And do you feel like that's a barrier to meditation? Like you can't, like it won't work for you. Like it's something that I can't do that because my mind wanders too much. So I know that you all here that are joining us on the Zoom call are meditating with me. So you know kind of that you can meditate with a wandering mind. But I just want to review that fundamental concept that, that's the nature of the mind to think. And we do go through most of our day wandering around in our mind, wandering around in our thoughts. Our thoughts are sort of like have us on a leash and we're going this way and that way and this way and that way. And the mind is just doing its job. It's not doing anything wrong. It's actually doing what it's supposed to be doing. So it's doing everything right. It's just our relationship to that wandering mind that we can work with, that we want to work with. It's not about stopping that wandering mind or controlling the wandering mind by force or effort or by thinking about it. It's just about changing your relationship between your awareness, your attention, what you're paying attention to, and the thing that your wandering mind is doing. So it's kind of a helpful concept to step back and say, when you find yourself wandering around in the mind, or the wandering mind is dragging you around, it's kind of a helpful thing to step back and say, well, who's doing the thinking? Who's the thinker? And sometimes that can put a little zap in the thought process. It can make us sort of still, and because it's sort of a non-answerable answer. Who's the thinker of the thought? And what that does, it gives you a pause. It puts a forced pause in that process of the wandering mind. And just that little pause helps you to get a little more awareness that there is something thinking. There is a someone that's doing the thinking. So in other words, the thoughts aren't you. The thoughts are just things that you're doing, the things that your mind is producing. So your thoughts are not you, which means you can view the thoughts, you can observe the thoughts, you can witness the thoughts, you can be with the thoughts, but you don't have to engage in them if you choose not to. You don't even have to believe them if you don't want to. There's a wise teaching that says you don't have to believe everything you think. A lot of the thoughts that come out of our mind or through our mind are the same thoughts we've had before. You've heard me say this a lot, I'm sure, is that we have 60 to 120 thoughts a day, and a high percentage, well into the 90s, maybe even 99% of those thoughts are thoughts we've already had before. So we're not thinking new things when we're just in that wandering mind. It's just conditioned habits of thought, conditioned habits of mind. And that's just the nature of the mind. It's like the nature of the heart. The heart will keep beating until one day it doesn't. It's just doing its job. So it's nice to know that you don't have to do anything to stop the mind from doing its job, but you can change your relationship to how you're relating to it. So it's all about attention. That word attention is really what meditation is all about. We're training our attention. It's a training tool for our attention. And we can decide where we put our attention or what we pay attention to, then we get to have a lot more agency over our experience, our decisions, our responsiveness, our reactiveness. That little pause between a thought or an impulse and us, that pause between the two, between our attention and the impulse or the thought, is where all of our power really lies. A lot of people are triggered by certain thoughts or certain experiences, certain emotions, and that's going right into that instinctual brain, that part of the brain that when you're driving down the road and you see a deer that you swerve, or that part of the brain that when there's a knock on the door in the middle of the night, you wake up startled, just like ready to protect or attack or hide or whatever your default reaction would be. It's that immediate instinctual stress response, and we go into that for a reason, and it's really helpful. But most of the time our threats are imaginary. They're more emotional. They're more, not even really real. They're just imagined. But we still get into that same stress response. So you could be sitting here today worrying about something that's going to happen tomorrow or later this afternoon or next week. You could be worrying yourself into that stress response just by getting engaged with the thinking. And so that's really not helpful, because it takes you, first of all, out of the present moment where you can engage with your family, with taking care of your immediate needs, like what your body's telling you you need, what your heart's telling you you need, or just maybe being present for resting. It really switches you over to that stress response. So you're lost you're outside of the present moment, and your body is preparing to protect you from some threat. So it's not putting you into that space of your nervous system that allows your body to nourish you and take care of you and rejuvenate cells and give you really good rest and replenish all of the balance the hormones and do all of those good things that your body is designed to do for you. So we started with the wandering mind, and that's why it's good to just know how to change your relationship with a wandering mind, so that you can say, okay, there it goes. And maybe it's on the worry bus or the struggle bus or whatever, but I can choose just by where I'm placing my attention to come back to the now and let my mind do its thing. And the funny thing is that just by training your attention to come back to the present moment, meditation is a way to practice that wandering mind eventually over time will learn how to just sort of settle down on its own. You'll never have a quiet mind. If you do, you're probably not alive. So let's just praise God for the wandering mind. We have a mind that thinks, okay, this is a good thing. So the practice of meditation helps the mind to just have its place in our life. We use it to solve our problems. We use it to get from point A to B. When we need the mind and we need that logical brain, it's there for us. And that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. So the practice of meditation, like I said, helps you to learn how to notice the thoughts or notice the wandering mind or a distraction or a sound or an emotion or a sensation, and then just choose to come back to a focus. So it's a training exercise. It's like building a muscle. The more you do that, the more you see yourself lost in the wandering mind or wandering around in the mind, then you notice it, and then you choose to come back to your focus. And then you have your attention on the focus, the anchor, whatever that may be in your meditation. And after a while, you notice, oh, I'm wandering around in my mind again. And that's okay. We don't have to be hard on ourselves or judge that. We just notice, okay, now let's come back. It's like a little puppy dog. Come on back here. Come on back here. Come on back here. And you do it sweetly. You do it really kindly. There's no reason to be hard on yourself about it. like I said, we've got this mind, this kind of untamed brain, and that's just the way it is. And we're going to learn how to tame it a little bit more with meditation. So I just, before we begin, do you have any questions about meditation before we dive in? Anything you want to ask me?
And if you are joining us via Zoom, you can unmute yourself or raise your hand and I can unmute you real quick.
Teresa, I can't hear you.
Oh, Kelly muted me. Oh, sorry. No, I'm sorry. I really had a hard time getting in. I've been trying for like probably since about 25 after to get in on my iPad, and I had to go grab my phone. It wouldn't let me into the meeting. So
Okay. That's okay. I'm
but
glad you're here.
I'm like, don't lose your Zen, Teresa, over there.
You're right where you're supposed to be right now. That's all that matters.
Here I am.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go.
Good to see you. All right, so we'll go ahead and get started. Is that okay, Kelly? Okay. So I invite you to find a comfortable position and place to sit. Find your favorite chair, your favorite cushion, and adjust your body so you're feeling nice and comfortable. In order for the mind to rest, the body has to be relaxed. It's a good thing to know. So anytime that you feel like you need to adjust your body during the practice, feel free to do whatever you need to do. You don't have to sit like a statue. And now that our bodies are settling in, I invite you to close your eyes if that's comfortable for you. If you'd like to leave them maybe half capped and gaze a few feet in front of you, you can do that as well. Otherwise, just let your eyes close. And we'll just begin by welcoming the sounds in the room. Noticing what there is in the room for you to hear. Noticing the sounds outside the room. And these sounds will just be part of our experience, not a barrier to our practice. Maybe a distraction at times, but not a barrier. It won't keep us from our practice. You can think of sounds as guests at the party. They're sort of in the background, part of the experience, and we just want to stay close to our date. And our date is our focus. So the focus for us right now will be our breath. So just start to sense your breath and coming in and out of the nose. The breath will be our anchor to this present moment. It'll be an anchor for our mind. It will bring us into our bodies. And just start to notice some more subtleties of your breath, the sensations that you feel. Maybe you can hear the breath in your ears. Just breathing naturally. And as we focus on our breath, our body tends to settle down too. It gives your body a chance to rest. It also gives your body a chance to tell you what it needs. Now that we're getting a little quieter, slowing down, in that pause, your body has a chance to get your attention. Perhaps you're feeling some discomfort somewhere in your body, some unease. And that is your body letting you know it just needs a little bit of your attention right now. So I invite you to travel with your attention and your breath to those places in your body that need your love, that feel like they need a little hug. And perhaps this is a little intense or uncomfortable, and I ask you to continue to allow those sensations as much as you can, and to be curious about the sensations rather than judgmental of them. Putting the welcome mat out for whatever you're feeling, whatever you're finding in the body. You can almost breathe into these places. So you're resting your attention there and breathing, directing your breath in and out of these places. And just letting that be okay for now, enough for now. With each breath, perhaps you can feel a little release, a deeper relaxation, a letting go of whatever you're holding on to, whether it's tension, anxiety, fear, worry. These are not things to ignore. They're just things to be with, acknowledge. And let's travel our attention to the top of our head. Just imagine it resting, floating right above your head in a bubble of light. It's your own awareness is going to scan down your body in a bath of light. So we'll begin by softening the forehead and letting this light travel down to the temples, relaxing the eyes and the cheeks and the jaw, softening the tongue, blanketing the back of the head, the back of the neck, the front of the neck, and a comforting, warm light. And then traveling across the back of the shoulders, just feeling a smoothing across the back of your shoulders, down your back to your middle back and your lower back. Into your tailbone. Feel where you are connected to the chair, where your seat is connected to the cushion. Just know that you're connected to the earth, that you're grounded and safe. And let's come back up to the upper chest and let this warm light smooth across the front of our shoulders, down our arms, around our elbows, into our forearms, around our wrists, and into our hands and out our fingers. Just noticing a warm sensation, or whatever sensation it is for you, that feels relaxing, releasing, comforting. Sense your hands wherever they're placed, the connection of your hands to the fabric on your clothes or on the seat that you're sitting on. Feel yourself connected. And then coming up to the heart center with this bath of awareness, we'll rest here in the heart for a few moments. Just imagining that this beautiful heart space is opening. It's unlocking. It's expanding. That our awareness is resting in this vast open heart. This heart without any limits, that knows no boundaries. The energy of the heart travels beyond the boundaries of your body and into the room, into your city and state and country, all over the world, so that truly everyone is connected in this way through the energy of their heart. And it's almost like we can feel each other's love. We can be comforted knowing that we're all connected by a field of love. Get a sense with your imagination of this vast space of your own heart. It's completely there for you to rest in always here for you. Let's continue scanning down the body into the belly, letting the belly muscles relax. Maybe feeling your breath in the belly for just a moment. The belly expanding on the inhale, contracting on the exhale. And then down to the hips, feeling the strength of our hips supporting us. Into the thighs. And then around the knees, down the calves and shins, around the ankles, into the feet and out the toes. And breathing into the body, opening up our awareness to the whole inside of our body. Noticing how we are feeling now. Staying connected to our breath. Before we end our practice, I'd like you to bring to mind a positive word that arises for you about how you're feeling in this spaciousness right now. Whatever pops into your head. And now let's start to notice the sounds in the room, outside the room. Slowly and gently bringing our awareness back together. Just taking your time. Enlivening the senses. Maybe feeling your body wiggle or move. And before we open our eyes, let's bring this, a little bit of this spaciousness with us. So as we open our eyes, that we are still connected somehow to this inner spaciousness. And that we carry this word with us as well. This quality of our own being. You can even turn that word into an affirmation if you'd like, by adding I am in front of it, as long as it's a positive word. You can write that down and remind yourself of it throughout the day. So when you're ready and there's no rush, give begin to flutter your eyes open. Maybe opening them halfway at first. Still sensing that spaciousness. And knowing that that is a space, a place that you can go back to anytime you want.
For those of you who joined us via Facebook, thank you. We're going to go ahead and stop the recording. All recordings are also can be found on our website at gildasclubqc.org/education. Thank you.